"We don't hire women in the cellar." And Dave looked at him and he said, "We do now." And that's how I got my job.
She expressed an interest in getting into winemaking, so we promoted her in the cellar, and she eventually became our assistant winemaker. Phyllis still makes wine under her own label. She turned out to be a great employee and a great person and a great friend.
Hi, my name is Phyllis Zouzounis, and I am a pioneer female winemaker in Sonoma County. But my career started in 1980, where I worked for Dry Creek Vineyards for 16 years to 1996. Now I have my own winery, and I make my wine in Dry Creek Valley. I was wooed by a gentleman who was into wine. We were both born and raised in San Francisco. He moved up to Guerneville, got him to Sonoma County, and then I ended up coming every weekend to Sonoma County. I got tired of doing that, and I said, okay, I'm going to move up there. So I started looking to get into some kind of group of people that were into wine. But I also met all these women, well, like Mary Ann Graff and Mary Edwards, and husband and wife that own Mazzocco Creek, and they became my mentors and said, you know, how do I get into this business? I really want to learn about how to make wine. I just want to make wine. They said get a job as an intern during harvest in the cellar. Went to every place. Nobody would hire a woman at the time. Women weren't allowed. They couldn't do the job. They said, you can't lift buckets of wine, you can't go up ladders, you can't pull hoses. I said, that's baloney, you know, let's do this. But after 2 years of looking for a job, I said, okay, today, I remember it was December. It was pouring rain out, and I haven't gotten a job in 2 years, and I needed a job. And so I said, today I'm going to that winery. This is the only one left, and I'm going to get a job. That happened to be Dry Creek. I said, I'll do your tasting room for a whole year, and the tasting room. And he taught me all the stuff. I worked there the whole year, and we became good friends. And so he said to John, Phyllis is going to be our part-time cellar worker for the harvest. And John looked at him and looked at me, and he said, we don't hire women in the cellar. And Dave looked at him and he said, we do now. And that's how I got my job. It was awesome. And I worked there 16 years in the cellar. And I worked my way up. I started out as a grunt in the bottom. I worked my way up to assistant winemaker. And while I was there, I even started my own wine label and business, started making my own wine. And that was great. I had the best teacher in the world. Dave Stair was an amazing man. While I was at Dry Creek, I learned tons of things, how to make Sauv Blanc. And that was one of their best wines among many. But I fell in love with the grape Zinfandel, and I was in Dry Creek, and I had met all these wonderful growers around and found these vineyards and stuff, and so I said, I want to make Zinfandel. I come across a lot of women in many kinds of business, and we all have the same story. It's just different business, but the story is the same. And the ones that are still doing it have crossed on many bridges, and just be strong, and you can do it. You're as equal to anyone else.